Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with today's trading action. It's Wednesday, the 27th of March. All right, now, BOJ getting a little bit cranky. They've come out with some strong words about, potentially intervening in the market, talking about decisive steps, right? I still think we're a long way from the BOJ really getting in. But I tell you what, Good Friday, markets are going to be very illiquid. It would be a good time to hit the market because you would get bang for your buck. So let's just keep an eye on that as we go forward. Now, just having a look at that, right? So the dollar, you actually, let me just bring over the calendar because there's a couple of things here that you need to sort of keep abreast of. And it's more about trying to understand what the new services are delivering, right? They're sort of saying, strong US numbers are really sort of pushing back the rate cut situation in the US. Yeah, durable goods month on month, it was a little spike, but that occasionally gets spikes in the durable goods. And I wouldn't call that a spike by any stretch. Month on month, excluding transport, it's like 0.1 better, right? The S&P Case-Shiller numbers were worse. So they're sort of cherry picking, right? And actually, I just covered one other thing there. Consumer confidence numbers, consensus 107, 104.7. So don't get suckered into thinking that the US dollar is, the economy's bubbling out of control because it isn't, right? And you can tell that because look at the moves here on the major currency pairs. They're minute. Right. So it's not like we're getting big data. The news services are there to sell advertising. So just understand that as we go forward. Now, coming into trading, this is where, Wednesday at the start of the European session, there's not much coming out, right? It's the last week of the month. So don't expect a lot. And as it is, I would start preparing for like a little break over the Easter period. Now, Thursday, there's a whole bunch of good second tier numbers. If you're really looking for a trading opportunity, some Aussie numbers, German numbers, UK, back to some German employment numbers. Then you got a swag of US numbers, right? These are a little bit more important. Initial jobless claims, the weekly number. You got the pending home sales and the GDP growth. And same for the Canadian GDP, right? So you might see some traction around those releases. But, to me, and I'm looking at the sort of, okay, what else have we got coming up? It's sort of one of those weird ones. You got Good Friday, right? And the PCE price index comes out on Good Friday. Liquidity, I can tell you at that time, the banks, they have skeleton staff. Instead of having like 30 guys in there, they might have 2 or 3, right? Just to sort of cover things. But this really does set us up for potential a bit of carnage. I think if we get weak numbers here, that would be a good time for the BOJ to come in because they're going to be selling dollars. Then they get their big bang for their buck with no liquidity. Dollar's already weak, and then they can really push the dollar down. But I tell you what, the BOJ have done this over the last 35 years since I've been around. Once the intervention's done, it just ricochets back to where it was. So I think it's a pointless thing at this stage unless the US fundamental shift. But Friday is the key day where we will find out where everything is going, right? So Thursday, kicks and giggles for sure. Now, just have a look at these. We've got these sort of new resistance lines, Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, and you got a new support line there in dollar CAD, dollar yen. It's probably a bit too steep there in the dollar Swiss, but also in the dollar index, right? So this is what I would be thinking, what I'm looking at, right? For a trading opportunity, probably more so Friday than Thursday, is using this line, right? If we get stronger numbers, well, we can continue higher. If not, we're going to see a breakdown. And this is the same setup for all the majors, right? This is a really good setup because what we're going to have is we get weak US numbers, which fits into the basket because it flips the market, right? Flips over the current positioning. We get to see really good trading opportunities here on Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi, and potentially dollar CAD. Dollar index, yeah, whatever. But I can tell you, these pairs here are primed for a dollar weak trade. If we get dollar strength, well, it has to be super strong, right? This is the PCE price index. It's not the CPI number itself. So just focus on those short-term trend lines. I think they're going to provide a bit of value as we go through the next couple of days. I'll be doing an update tomorrow. But just as I said, have a look at this. There will be some activity leading into Easter on Thursday. We've got a whole bunch of US numbers. Now, they are a little bit staggered, so you get a bit of an opportunity to sort of work with them. What we need is significant variance here, to get things moving. If we get weakness here, the dollar would have already flipped, right? And then you get the follow through. The PCE price index in particular will be the key event to look for. So put that on your blotter, your journal, whatever you want to call it, your notepad. That's the event to look for, and we'll see how it plays out from here. All right, guys, have a good one. All the best. Cheerio.